And I have a fan club. I've been on national television and stuff, so I've had a lot of exposure and things.
The excitement.
A lot of the punk movement dealt with, the realization that everybody else was a jerk and the guys running the world were not doing a good job because they're inferior boobs and that kind of thing. I remember, seeing in some magazine when I was 8 or 9 years old, an ad for Never Mind the Bullocks, here's the Sex Pistols. And I was like, what the hell is that? It was just so wild. The aesthetics were so off the wall. And, once you look beyond the aesthetics, and it symbolized, anarchy, tearing down the walls of conformity and all that stuff.
I don't want to go to anybody else. So we basically, instead of like everybody says, oh, how'd you get a break? We didn't break. We opened the back window. We broke into the comic business ourselves. And that's how we do it. It's just basically guerrilla comic making. We go about and do what we want to do. Nobody else likes it. Nobody else likes it. We're doing it for ourselves, basically. It's not for a tremendous amount of money, although that would be nice.
Would you like to give us some kind of reflection on what you think it's gonna really be like here at San Diego with the big debut of Cry for Dawn #5 and Subtle Violence #1?
Well, in all actuality, I don't know what to expect. I'm going into it with a clear, open mind. Everybody tells me if I don't make $10,000, the company that is, we're being robbed, but, just gotta hope for the best.
Young Cat is pretty good.
Everybody ignores it.
Lindner.
My portfolio's out. Have you seen this? I saw some of the plates inside your envelope before. Okay, have you seen the commercial? Yeah, it was pretty cool. Should have been a little more graphic. It's a drag.
Why?
This place, it's been overrated, really. I expected more fun, more people, more money. But aside from that, it's all right.
Here we go. In total, it makes 8 cents like that.
He's lying. He met Danzig. He had a thrill.
Aha.
We'll approach people today to work for us. Met a couple of guys who may work for us. Depends what we can afford.
Wow! What they're willing to pay me for. I have my own company. I'll never work for anybody else again. They're all rats. Thieves.
Well, who was that? What was that all about?
Well,
Or you can just tell me what it's about if you don't want to name any names.
oh, well, it's about people seeing that we've got a hot item here, or a potentially hot item, and trying to, leech blood away from us. And we have our integrity, and we have our courage nailed to our spines, so we're gonna go through it on our own and sink or swim or fly away. We'll see what fate holds for us. The best part is being in the same town with my man Kevin J. Taylor for a whole week.
Ooh, right on Lynn Tazari. But how come you didn't have the copies ready already?
Because we are incompetent boobs.
All right.
And we don't know any better.
Hey, speaking of them, tell me that's them. He came out really hot. The Letterman came out good. Yeah.
You were banned in Canada.
Yes, we were. The first issue was banned in Canada. They refused to bring it over the border. They had some problems with the subject matter, and that story on abortion contains a scene where a gentleman eats a fetus. You find out that it's a twist on the old, it's a hardship story that people eat dog food and this to survive. We've we set up a story where a guy worked in an abortion clinic and he could not afford to really sustain himself, and one of the things he began to do was survive by eating, humans. It was very touchy, and the Canadians, once the book shipped in, they were shipped right back real quick.
You think the controversy is good for business?
It is if you ride the press. It's very good. We've never really wanted to ride the press that way. We're not the Madonna-esque comic company. We never wanted to make every story has to have this statement about society or dealing with society. We just did stories that spoke to us and spoke through us, and we were very happy to do.
Pornography is on the upswing. So I think we're feeling that from the 80s. And I think in the 90s it's going to be similar to the 60s.
Kev, do you remember that? The guy who said, "Is there sex in it?" was here today. He was sitting there talking to Kevin Taylor, and I look up, and I saw this big goofy guy in a coat speaking in a weird accent like this, and I couldn't understand where he was from.
Most horror comic books do not sell well because people are bored with the image of some guy standing there with an axe. And sex does sell.
$7. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. You can get a good meal for $7, and some bonehead spent it on this.
What's the question? Hi, I'm Rob Rand. Girlfriend's 14. No, sorry, Rob. I'm waiting for him to drop the camera.
Live, we're on Haran camera. Hi, Rob.
We've got a TV commercial. TV commercial we worked on was produced and directed by two gentlemen who we met through the comics business. Larry and Rob, who we owe a great deal of debt. As I grease them up for a good one later.
The commercial is more of a image-related, what's this all about, eye-catching piece of work.
Hey, you. Who are you? I'm Joe Linsner. This is the Cry for Dawn video, right?
What did you do for Cry for Dawn?
Painted and sculpted the sets, walls, so on and so forth. Helped with lighting, building, and various other technical aspects of the commercial shoot. Anyway, that whole wall, I think of it as a giant painting, basically. Well, it was 14 feet by 32 feet. Took me probably 6 weeks to make. At the time, I was living in Brooklyn in a giant warehouse space, and it nearly drove myself and the rest of my roommates, all 5 of them, insane. If you look closely, you can see in the painting that there's skeletons somersaulting and flipping around. I made it.
What is your feel of Cry for Dawn?
It makes me nervous, mostly. But I'm sort of a nervous guy. I guess I'm just learning about comics and trying to get a hold of as many issues of Cry for Dawn as possible.
Is camera on? Should I be smiling? Should you be smiling?
Kind of stuff that you walk by, you throw it, you go, no thank you, Rob takes it off.
Rob is still searching for higher forms of life and alternatives.
So that... Oh, he's...
Decipherable.
Yeah.
Completely undecipherable.
Like it? It's cheap.
but the real copy. What?
The commercial and my extended version of it is very simple.
The remix.
You open up a copy of Cry for Dawn, get this open, see the door, coming through the door. It's like walking through a door. Anything's possible. You can learn things, take things from it, get frightened of it, hide from it, but you can't stop it, especially once you've opened that door.
Action. Raya.
To me, opening the cover of a Cry for Dawn book to look inside, you've opened the door. And that's the literal interpretation of the commercial.
Cut. Got you good.
One more, one more, one more.
Right away.
Drawing all this stuff is so much easier. If I have one concept, I can sit there in a couple hours, bing, I have it. But here I got to explain to this guy, and then this guy's got to try to, build this, and then this guy's got to try to paint that, and it's really tough. And I have a lot more respect for films now. And because this looks so good, I am impressed beyond words. So, talk to
See,
him.
that's why the artist always has it easy. Artist always has it easy. I see a picture, I draw a picture. The writer, the set designers, the directors, the guys over there who are lifting that thing are the guys who have it tough right now today. People fly us places now, which is good. We were in Detroit last weekend, Minneapolis 3 weeks ago. We're going to be in Ferndale, Michigan this coming week. It is. It's good. It's good and bad.
Get the janitor out of the shot.
Well, honey, if you want to be an actress.
Get up there, you Christian dog.
I got it.
I would wait a beat. It feels like yes, but she takes just. Camera reload.
Knowing nothing about this, we really wanted to help as much as possible. And you guys didn't let us as much as possible because you knew what you were doing. We really thank you. And Larry and Rob are the two people who really rigged this. Me and Joe came up with a comic, but you guys brought it to life for us. And that's like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Because, we could do the comic for another 5 years, and we never probably will get to this spot where we could do something on this scale. I got T-shirts and comics for everybody. Oh, yay.
No, I don't want game for the moment. It's like, I don't want to go drinking, no way. No.
This place is dead.
Hello, Ira.
MasterCard Visa slips?
What?
Any MasterCard or Visa slips?
No, you're talking to the wrong guy.
So, Joe, how's it going, Joe? How's today been?
Like JFK driving in Dallas.
Really? That's a hell of a line. We'll have to use that one day. Let's take a look at a typical Cry for Dawn fan today, shall we? Joe had always wanted to be in comics. He always wanted to do some sort of comic work as well as do things beyond it. Please don't think that we wanted to be sitting, behind a table at like 50 years old or something like that saying, oh yes, and we finally got our job on the Silver Surfer Annual. It's never been anything like that.
How do you respond to the rumors around the industry that you're difficult to work with?
Fuck those guys! I've been called a perfectionist. I like to think of myself as a perfectionist. You know, we're really not in this for the money. I think I'd be a Marvel Comics or something like that if I was in it for the money. My artwork has always had a cotton candy finishing to it. And basically, you know, I can draw a pile of intestines and make it look pretty. I've outgrown drawing intestines, thank God. Cry for Dawn started out as a horror one-shot. I really have no affection for the horror genre because it's very limited. I've been growing beyond, you know, the restrictions of the genre. Cry for Dawn is not really a horror comic anymore. If anything, it's its own thing.
The book that we do is, you know, hopefully it's like the thinking man's comic, okay? Maybe the horror genre isn't where you would expect to see the thinking man's comic. I don't expect to see it, you know, the horror genre, 90% of it is crap.
Cry for Dawn started out as a one-shot, so everything after the first issue has just been like, bam, whatever happens, throw it up in the air. And the look of the book will continue to change, and just like Dawn, who is perpetually changing. You know, that is more important than any of the business stuff to me. The book is the heart, soul, and core of everything. Everything else, non-creative, is just something that has to get done.
Handling the business end, all right? In addition to like all shipping, all production on the book, as far as getting it printed, paying people, getting paid, all that stuff is my job. I handle labeling and stuff like that, and me and Joe both handle the shitty job of lugging the stuff to UPS and sending it out ourselves.
See, none of us really make too much money, so we gotta like kill ourselves and work 90 hours a day.
But if you're not making any money, what's the point?
It's the work itself, man. It's the fun of it. In Cry for Dawn, I'm, you know, pretty much able to do whatever I want, and there's nothing like that freedom. A couple of years ago, I had the realization that I will only ever see the world out of my two eyes. You know, right here is my focus of reality. Doesn't matter how well or how eloquent someone else will describe something. I'm still just going to be able to like view it from my point of view, from my axis, and it goes for everybody else. I'm not saying I'm any more important than anybody else, not by a long shot, but in one very sad sense, you know, we're all alone in this world. Most religions are based on death, what happens after you die, that type of thing. And I don't think anybody, since the dawn of time, has had like a better guess than anybody else what happens. The Bible and all of their holy scriptures were transcribed by man. So that's more or less one person's viewpoint. There are plenty of holy texts that are enlightening here and there, but it's all a crapshoot until you get there.
I got the impression earlier when you were talking about the creation of Dawn, the way you described it, that in fact you might be able to say that Dawn grew out of your fascination with her particular body parts and only became a person later on.
Well, isn't that the way all male-female relationships work? And, you know, a lot of people, when we were casting for the commercial, said, oh, you gotta find the girl with the biggest chest. And it's like, nah, man, it's not in the chest at all, it's in the eyes. You gotta find the eyes, because that's where, you know, doorway to the soul and all that stuff. That's where the personality comes through. The origin of Dawn. Well, Dawn all came from the skull lace pattern in our corset. I had just like drawn this girl, a redhead, in one of my sketchbooks, a girl going like this, covering her face, wearing this lace pattern. And every now and again, you know, an artist will get an idea for like one little thing, and you can't just draw that one little thing. So you gotta like draw a drawing around it. So basically, the one little thing that I wanted to draw there was the lace pattern, and she just happened to like surround the lace pattern. Dawn is a modern myth. Everything has this modern feel to it, the urban landscape and so on and so forth. With each new cover, I'm discovering a different facet that she'll fit into. Another side of her, another angle. And we have, ta-da! Oh! Plates from the supposed alleged portfolio. Dun, 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 dun. The story that's been developing in the portfolio is something dealing with heaven and hell and very strong archetypes.
I was reading Cry for Dawn before I met Linzer and Monks. Another appeal that Cry for Dawn had for me is that it has this epic scope. When you look at the covers, at Dawn on those covers, which is the true inspiration for the commercial, the scope of those things is so big. There's just like this tremendous, legendary, huge, mythical quality. And that's the kind of filmmaking I want to do. She's a powerful force. She she represents a very frightening power. You know, Linsner has done versions of Dawn as Kali, the goddess of destruction. And, you know, that is the flip side of creativity, is destruction. And that is a female aspect. So I see Dawn as being representational of a lot of these possible female aspects. These guys are not doing stuff just to sell. They're doing stuff because it's good to do. The complaint that Dawn doesn't appear in the book is only for those people who aren't reading the stories, because they're looking for the girl inside.
Joe Monk's the writer has no questions about himself as a writer. I got nothing to prove. I have no urge to go out there and say, hey, I can write to other people. People relate to the stuff that I'm doing. They relate, and that's great, and that's nice and stuff, because the only person who's got to enjoy it in the end, as far as I'm concerned, is me. If you're looking for real hidden convoluted symbolism, and you can find something wherever you look for it. And if people find stuff, you know, now or later on, that's nice, but it's not something that I'm trying to achieve. I want people to have a good time. I want to have a good time. That's the only reason I write.
Oh, I appreciate people reading into my work. I would be hurt if they didn't. If I'm like putting out symbols and people are saying, oh, it's a stop sign. No. Then that doesn't work. You know, I'm not doing my job right. It all comes from my subconscious. See, I'm really disturbed on my own. I don't need drugs. Barry Smith once said, an illustration is only as good as the thought put behind it. And I read that, I think it's in the studio, when I was like 12 or 13, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Because, you know, if you have the surface aesthetics, you can draw people in. And the simple people will be happy with that. And the more layers you have underneath that, the stronger the work is going to be. The stronger the structure, the foundation. Dawn eventually, I guess, will pop up in a story. It won't be anything what people expect. I have a number of projects which have been sitting in my head for so long. The chief of which is Obsidian Stone, who will get done, or else I'll kill somebody.
As we get a little better known, a lot more people are willing to get involved. We're hoping to have Dave Dorman be a Subtle Violence gallery guest. We had Tim Conrad for the first issue.
Well, we're publishing From the Darkness, which is a neat little vampire thing. And contrary to all popular belief, you know, I don't hate vampire stories. It's rather that any of them are done interestingly.
Kevin Taylor's book, which is going to be called Exotica, after he does Girl Rule of Darkness, is coming out. Me and Joe both jointly decided on that.
That guy peeping through the door at the end of the commercial. That's Kevin J. Taylor, Esquire. Now we got him. And we're going to be cracking the whip, forcing Kevin to do his best work.
I'll do my best.
We don't have to crack the whip. We're just going to say, Kev, go wild.
Yeah, I was going to say I get a lot more money, but...
Feel free.
Yeah, what the hell. I get a lot more bucks. They're all right. I can't tell you how much I hate American adult comic books because there's simply nobody taking it seriously. I did The Grow Up because there were so many bad adult books out there. I just wanted people to know that there were people who take these seriously besides the gratuitous sex scenes and violence. Well, you got so many stories. You got gay comics. You got comics with angst. You got sad love story comics. You got every other comic but comics with black characters, and I guess that's where I and a few other people come in. And the creators I would recommend are Mark Beecham. His comics are great, but his other work, which hasn't seen print, is far better than anything I've ever seen in comics. It's always a kick to see yourself on screen.
The
Dark One. He's a blazingly talented young man who the world is going to be seeing more of, whether they like it or not. His real name is Greg Williams.
Big back. That is where it's at.
Yeah, basically, we're just like finding guys who know what they want to do, and we're giving them a plateau to do it. A stage to do it, and letting them go wild.
Are you paying them?
Let's be realistic here. One thing at a time.
Now on video cassette. You don't get the full effect when you play this for hours and hours. Joe did have a photo inspiration for Dawn, and it's need a wide angle for this one.
What do I miss? Knock yourself out.
Ooh.
You see, we're working on the Cry for Dawn mobile, and we just got to find out how to properly market it. Actually, this is Joe's bookmark for his Bible. He's got a very big book.
Entertainment is obviously just a key. It's once people key in that this is not anything that's necessarily overly serious. We've never taken ourselves seriously. I mean,
Can you say that
we
again?
do our own documentary. We've never taken ourselves seriously.
Basically, the theme that's emerging in the book is modern decadence, you know, and the romance that our society has with it. People are fascinated with terrible things, and on one hand, I'm fascinated with that fascination.